Hello friends, good afternoon all of you, and let's start today. I can see very few students. It's almost 29 students are so far. What happened to them I don't know, because strength is very less. Perhaps maybe only 30 students I could see, and after 5 minutes they start joining. I wait first 5 minutes so that all students can join. But the students are taking more 5 minutes so that they're taking extra 5 minutes for joining. So it should not happen. See, uh, you people have to join within first 5 minutes itself. You don't try to take more time. And if you're taking more time, then there is, uh, I need to keep allowing you, because sometimes one after another candidates keeps entering in, and I have to keep them allowing. So that should not happen. Okay, so as far as professional communication is concerned, we people have done with our unit number 2, that is group discussion. And in terms of, I think, uh, assignment writing and unit test, first I have told you everything. So in today's class, we people are going to begin with unit number 3 now, and that will be personal interview. Okay. So let's start. I'll share the screen. People just let me know if it is audible to you. Okay, all right. Is it visible and audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So if you have done with this, then let's think of your future after 3 years. So consider now you people are about to complete your first year. You have completed your semester first, and you're about to, maybe you are in second semester. So because of short of time, you will not understand when you are going to complete your second semester also, because soon the all things will be finished, all syllabus, all teachers will complete their syllabus, and again you people are going to have exams. Simultaneously you people are just now appearing for unit test. ISC will be there, ISCs will be over, and you people are going to face the final exams also. So time is very short, so you don't think that you people are going to have a lot of time. So if you have done with your first year, so how many years? So let's say how much time you people have in your hand. So let's say now you people will enter into second year and third year. So these 2 years only you people will get to prepare yourself, so that you people can just think of the placements, or you can just think of a job that you are going to join after 2 years. Because when you people will complete your third year, then you people are eligible for placements. And when you are eligible for placement, so you people have to be very clear about that all the things that you people are doing, it should be appropriate for your placements. There should not be any backlog, there should not be that any kind of criteria. Usually when a company comes, then they set the criteria that minimum 60% marks you people should have. There should not be any backlog, or certain like things these people will tell to you. So this is also that I would like to tell. You people need to take care that whatever you are studying, you people have to work on your subjects as well, because with skills your marks are also important. There should not be any backlog, maybe any in any semester there should not be any backlog. You should be all clear. Minimum first class should be there. That is 60% marks you should get, and apart from that you should possess all those skills also. So with marks, you people are expected to have your knowledge, subject knowledge, technical skills. Apart from that, your communication, English communication, and your ability to just be let's talk about soft skills at the end. Last unit we people are going to talk about soft skills, but your ability to do well in all those things, that is important to become professional. And you can become professional in any of the organizations, so don't worry about it, but you just start preparing yourself from these fronts. So let's say first of all you work on your communication. I have been telling these things since maybe my first class, my first lecture itself. I explained that all you people have to work on your English communication, that how you people can communicate, that what are the thoughts which are there in your mind, you should be able to express them in English. So right now I have seen that in few of the classes, in fact all divisions, I have conducted a group discussion when we completed the unit number 2. So at the end I conducted group discussion in all divisions that I teach. So common problem I found that there are so many students who are facing problems in communication and they're not able to speak. Though they have ideas, they wanted to speak, in fact, but they were not able to speak in English. The problem is that they do not practice it at all. And the same happens with everybody. Maximum students, they're not talking English at all, or there is no need to talk at all. So right now we people are attending classes from home. So at home nobody is speaking, and if you talk of your friends also, you people do not communicate in English. I'm sure nobody speaks English on daily basis. But that is the problem. I think this is the biggest mistake that we people are doing. We need to start, and it is not that all the time throughout the day you people have to speak English. Is it like this? It is not required to speak English for entire one day, throughout the day. In fact, I'm expecting that at the end of the day, you people are expected to come together and discuss something in English. That is going to help you, because major problem is with, again, in English is not a major problem. So in English, you people can listen me and you understand. So there is no problem for listening. If you are going to read something, I'm sure that you will read, you will understand. And any difficulties there in reading, you people will take help of dictionary and you'll understand it. If I ask you to write one paragraph, I'm sure all students are able to write one paragraph, or they will write one page also. There is no problem for listening, reading, and writing. But problem is for what? Problem is for what? Problem is for what in English?
Speaking.
Yes. So I think that I have repeated it so many times that you people have to work here. You people have to focus. You need to spend your time here, what you can do. And there only people are not doing anything. For listening, perhaps you might be listening on social media, on YouTube or something like this. For reading, you people maybe reading something on internet or maybe some newspaper or something like this. For writing, you people are perhaps writing at least homework assignment, something that you're writing, though you're not creative writer. But there is no problem at all. But for speaking, you do not do anything, and there is no any assessment, because if you write, you are going to get marks. If you read, you'll understand and you can write it in exam. If you listen, you'll understand again. But for speaking, there is no any kind of assessment. Nobody asks you, do you speak English today? Or based on your oral, there is no any kind of marks that you are going to get. So nobody is thinking of that spoken. Nobody is thinking of oral communication, and because of that, it has become drawback. It becomes a biggest problem for all the students who are looking for placements in their final year. So therefore, I'm just making you people realize that it should not happen with you. When you people will complete your third year, that time it should not be that you're again having a same fear. Again, you're having same nervousness that you cannot speak English. Your grammar is weak, and you cannot just discuss anything with the interviewer into group discussion or with your teachers. So that becomes problem. And again, I have told that this is the case for all students. Almost in each and every class, I came across that there are 5 to 10 students who are active and they're doing on their own. They're self-motivated. And what about other students? They're not doing anything. They're not listening. In fact, they're just getting connected, and then again, there's a major problem of their understanding also. So try to work on it, and it will not be part of your curriculum. At no stage of your 4 years in engineering, there will be anybody is going to ask you how is your English, whether you are speaking English or something like this. But at the end of your course, you will be judged on how much English you can speak, how much subject knowledge you people have. So based on these things, you people will be evaluated. So therefore, work on it independently. Don't expect that teacher will ask you, or maybe at some times or in second year, third year, you people will be getting some training, but that is not sufficient. That is not adequate until and unless you are doing on your own. The people are not able to do it, and be motivated. So why you people have to speak English? Remember your journey of your education and your career. So why we people are doing all those things? The purpose behind all those things that you people have taken admission and decided particular branch and something like this. What is the purpose behind it? That at somewhere you people wanted to be part of professional life. Let's say right now you maybe wanted to get a simply salary or good salary or amount. That is what purpose we people have right now. But that is not the only purpose. I would like to say that you may be passionate about that engineering skills. You may be passionate about if your branch is like this, particularly related to your branch, you may be passionate about those skills. So try to make them better, become expert, become master in that field. And I'm sure that then of course you people will be getting a lot of opportunities in that field if you're working, and these things will motivate to speak English. These things always remind you that whatever you are doing, that is not sufficient. There are much more that you can do, and you have potential, you have abilities, and uh, you can possess all those skills also if you practice. So then onwards, you people will not spend your time just surfing on internet, just watching some comedy videos, watching status of other people, and doing useless stuff. No, you will not do it. Rather than you'll think that the time which I'm getting, that actually I need to utilize this time for good constructive ideas, constructive things that I can do for increasing my knowledge, sharpening my skills, and how I can do better when I will be part of professional life. So just think your life after 2 years. Right now, if people are in first year, you're about to complete your first year. So where you would be after 2 years? You will be in final year. That is your placements that will start. So when you will be in final year, and you people will be just getting one after another companies. The TP office is going to announce to you that today is this company, and next week there is one more company, and in that way they will continue. And then you people need to ask yourself, are we ready for such placements? So what things, what skills are required? Am I working on my aptitude tests? Am I practicing it daily? Am I working on my English communication? How much English I can speak? Whatever thoughts are there in my mind, whatever knowledge I have, whatever I have studied, am I able to convey it to other people? Whether other people understand what I speak? And if you are not getting satisfactory answers, you should not stop taking efforts. You should not stop yourself. You should not limit yourself by wasting your time on such useless things. So that is here. I just would like to realize you people that there is time. Still, you people are getting a lot of time. I will say these 2 years are not a small span of time. It is a big span of time. But if you're wasting as it is, you will not understand again that how you spend your 2 years, and in the final year, you people will remain again in same condition that I just explained you. For listening, you do not have any problem. You understand everything. For reading also, you people do not have anything problem. For writing, you people can write anything. But when it comes of oral communication, but when it comes of spoken English, you people are again having fear, nervousness, or you feel that my grammar is not good. I'm not able to speak English, and such things may continue in your life. So what should we do? What we can do, in fact? So there is no any special things you people are expected to do. You people have to just practice it daily. It may be 15 minutes, but for every day you are going to spend 15 minutes for speaking English. And how I have explained it in previous class also. Make group of your friends, 5 to 6 students can be together, and they can organize Zoom meetings every day at the end of day, and you people discuss anything. You people can have your informal gossips there. You try to speak in English there, and then you realize how much I can speak, what problems I face, whether I'm able to find proper words to express my ideas, whether I'm able to make right sentences, and if I'm not able to get right words, right sentences, then I will search for them. I will ask some questions. You can ask me your doubts and queries to me also. When I wanted to speak English, these are the problems that we face. then I will try to find a solution for it. So this way you people practice. Then of course the major process of recruitment that I have explained. First of all, you people will work on your aptitude skills so that first round you people are going to clear. So if your aptitude is clear, then of course you people will be appear for next round, and that next round is going to be usually of GD. So all you people will just, we have discussed so many things, skills in unit number 2. So you people will prepare again more for this group discussion as well. And still you people are going to learn more. Whatever we have discussed, this is not sufficient because this is just superficial. I'm teaching about GD only, but actually I have not conducted GD, or what GD I have conducted, it is about only one topic. And in that, I think that 4 or 5 students spoke only from your class. So what about other students? Only 4 to 5 or only 10 students wanted to get a job? No, in fact, all students in our class, in our all branches, or let's say in our all college, they're in position that everybody wants a good job. And so let's think about yourself then. Am I able to participate? Am I able to open my mouth? Am I able to express myself in front of others? And if not, then I can do a lot of things right now. Okay, so then if people can just, if you qualify this first round, you'll appear here. If you qualify this round, then you'll appear for your personal interview. And if you perform well here, then you people will be getting into the next round, and that could be the final round where you people will get just say a selection here, or your offer letter your people are going to get here. And see, there are a lot of opportunities. It is not like that maybe these days situation is like this, but for those who are having skills, knowledge, and those who are honest, ready to work, for them still there are a lot of opportunities that they can do here. So always remember about this. Maybe you are going to forget because you people are going to only focus on the subjects. In first semester, how many subjects you studied? Let's say 4 subjects you studied. In second semester, you people are going to study 5 subjects. Again, in third semester, fourth semester, fifth semester, you people are just working on the subjects only, syllabus only, and you're not working on these things. You people have to work on these things. Make it your skills, make it, be expert in these things. First of all, aptitude, you should be able to solve such aptitude questions, problems in short time using tricks and tips. In group discussion, you should be able to communicate a lot of ideas. You should be, for that, I have told you, you're reading, newspaper reading, books reading, and so many things. You people need to keep yourself up to date. And then you people have to practice this. What are the frequently asked questions and all those things? We people are going to discuss all those things in today's class. So let's begin that in today's class, what we people are going to start with. It will be personal interview. Here are some tips and techniques we people are going to discuss, which will be part of your professional life. Okay. So it is not only that first time you are going to face interview in your life. Maybe that, suppose that at as a fresher you are going to face interview first time, but let's see, you're not going to retire in one company itself. That once you got selected, and in that company only you are going to spend your entire life. No, you are going to switch your job after getting let's say experience of 2 years, 3 years. You are going to switch that company from other company, and you are going to give there again interview. So this is this process somewhere you people are going to face interviews, and at later phases of your life also. But very important is that as a fresher, how to face interview, that is very difficult for many students. But in fact, it is a skill. Again, you try to understand. It is not like that only clever students, only the students who are getting good marks, they only get selected into interviews. It is not like that. So interview is also a skill, and if you practice this interview, I'm sure that all you people can be successful in interviews. So this is what you people need to keep into mind. If you practice, then skills can be again taken to the excellence, or you can master, you can expert in anything if you are trying to obtain the skill. So if you think of this interview, if you think of some tips, techniques, if you're thinking of some do's and don'ts, if you're thinking of that grooming, then of course you people can also be mastering this interview tips and skills, and you people can get selected into not only one company, but there are a number of offer letters that you people can get at the end of your graduation. Okay, so let's begin. So is it audible? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All of you pay attention.
Yes, sir.
So let's try to understand in this presentation which things we people are going to see. First of all, we'll try to understand what is interview, why interview is conducted. So this we people will try to discuss here. Then next, types of interview. So there are different types of interview. In short, we'll try to understand, because this part will not be asked anywhere in the exams, that you know what is interview, you know what are types of interview. Usually syllabus is like this. So particular thing is there, definition of this, then types of this, and then their example, something like this. But in case of this interview or group discussion, we should not go like theoretically like this. What is definition of GD? What is definition of interview? What is types of interview? What are types of GD? But just for our understanding, just for our information, you people will just try to understand what are some types of interview, rather than you just try to know that how to face interview, what to say, what not to say, and how to introduce yourself, then how you can answer the questions. If any question is asked and if that answer you don't know, in that case, how you are going to be ready for such responses. Or sometimes that what your preparation we are doing, but still that sometimes somewhere it will be like that, some questions will be there that you are not expecting, or out of your preparation there are going to be some questions. So how to deal with such questions, what to answer, what not to answer, these things people try to understand instead of just knowing definition, because nobody is going to ask you, tell me what is definition of interview. Nowhere, nobody is going to ask you a question like this. Tell me what are types of interview. Explain particular type of interview. There will be no any kind of such questions there that will be asked to you. Yes. Yes, madam. Okay, so continue. Then we people will just try to understand again that preparation for interviews. So this is very important somewhat. So what preparation we are expected to do. So when you are going to face interview, it is not like that you woke up today, your interview is planned today, you woke up early in the morning and you went to the interview as you go to canteen to have a tea or to have a breakfast. So something like this. It is not like that. A lot of things you people have to check, you people have to think about that. If the interview is for which post, which kind of post you are going to be there, what kind of job description is there. Job description means what kind of job you people are going to do, what skills are required. You people have to think about what skills are required. If the post is of, let's say, junior trainee engineer, something like this, and then what skills are required for this post, do you possess those skills? And then you people need to think that what probable questions can be asked in interview. So let's try to imagine all these things, so people have to prepare. So if the interview is going to ask you, explain what is the importance of this and what is this and what is that. Some questions you people have to prepare, some technical points you people have to consider. Then some personal questions can be asked. So how you people are going to be ready, how you are going to answer certain questions. So that things you people have to be ready for preparation for interview when you are preparing. Apart from this, if you are going to prepare for interview, there should be resumes that you people have to prepare. So resume is a kind of document which is presented before you go to the interviewer. So this resume is going to be represent you, that what you are and what you have. So that has to be again nice and up to date resume you people have to prepare. I think that this is on later units that we people are going to learn about resume writing also. Then extra copies of resume should be there. The photos, passport size photos, you people need to carry with yourself. Then again, so many things about appearance, dress and appearance, and your body language, gesture, posture. These are also part of interviews that you people have to prepare yourself. So all those things you people have to think. So start thinking in your mind as if you are going to be let's say face interviews after 4 days, 5 days, and from that point of view you just think that what I can do, what I cannot do right now, and those things you can do, make it better. those things which you cannot do, start knowing how you can do it. Then here you people are going to get some what performance you have to do during interview and after interviews. So what you should do during interview, so how to sit when you are going to just enter into the cabin, how to enter, that is also matter of etiquettes, manners, etc. How to knock on the door, this is also some things that you people have to think of when you are entering, how you should enter. And you have to wait there, you should not directly go and sit in front of interviewer, so greeting the interviewer. So these are some of the formalities that you people have to follow. Then here you are going to get some of the tips also uh, that you people can follow. Very important that if you just try to know those tips and if you try to follow them, it will help you, it will boost your confidence. Very important, because again, what is judged when you face interview, it is not that how much you know or what is knowledge you have, but it is your attitude, and it is your the what you are showing them in front of them, your ability, your attitude, and uh, your confidence level. All those things are judged only. And then there you people have to think about some do's and don'ts, that what you can do, what you have to follow, and what you shouldn't do when you actually participate in interview. And then you people have some interview questions, common interview questions that are asked in interview. So let's say like this: introduce yourself, then uh, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, why should we select you, what are your expectations, how much salary do you want, and something like this they may ask you. So these are certain questions, and fixed questions, and frequently asked questions, FAQs. So if you're going to learn about these questions, I'm sure that you people will at least these common questions, at least you people will answer. And if there is any tricky question, if any difficulty question, at that time you may be again getting more confidence that I have answered so much questions, so such questions also you people can answer. And the last one is here that some job sites I will not recommend to you, because right now people are going to face college campus and placements here, so this will be of no use. But see, if you're trying for off campus, so off campus means that throughout the college campus you did not get selected into any of the companies, then you can try for such websites. So those websites also I will just tell you at the end of this presentation. And uh, maybe you have to be very careful, because some sites, some consultancies are there, they may ask you some money, register with us, and it is not working. And just give us 5,000 rupees or your first salary, something like this they may ask you to offer. In that case, you should keep yourself away from such things. Don't pay a single rupee to anybody at any time for getting job, because whatever you are going to get, it will be on your skills or on your knowledge. So with this, you people will go to the next slide here, and let's try to understand what is interview. I think that as far as you people might have a rough idea what interview is and why is it conducted. So can anybody tell me what is interview and why is it conducted? Answer, reply. First of all, what is interview? No idea. Okay, another question, why is it conducted?
To check our skills.
Yes, to check our skills. Good. So at least you people have. Soil, you want to say something?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So as I just explained you scenario, when you people will be ready for such things. So interview is nothing but a meeting. It is a meeting. Okay. So meeting, let's say, the minimum two parties, let's say. One is, let's say you are there, that is candidate, and the interviewer. So there are two terms, interviewee and interviewer. So interviewee is who? Interviewee is who? And interviewer is who? Interviewer is the person who is asking you some questions, and interviewee is who? The person who is answering, that will be interviewee. So there are two minimum parties, and these two parties, there will be exchange of some information. Okay. So exchange of information, let's say instead of exchange, people will say, just say question answer session. Let's say they will ask you some questions and you people are going to answer. Uh, and why is it conducted? To see whether you are suitable candidate for the particular post. Let's say you are applying or you wanted to work as a manager. So are you suitable candidate? Are you eligible candidate for the post of manager? So how to see? It is not like that anybody will be called and you will be selected as a manager. No. For that post, for manager's post, you should possess some qualification. You should possess some knowledge. There should be some skills which are required. You should have some at least experience that how you are going to manage some things like this. So to check all those things, the interview is organized, and when you people will be part of interview, so that time you people have to go through that process, and then these people, they will test you, they will judge you, they will just assess you based on your subject knowledge. So let's say you people are from electrical, electronics, civil, mechanical, whatever may be your branch. So what you should have, you should know well your subject knowledge. So let's say technical skills here. So if you're your mechanical, then you people have to think about the different machines, productions, and different software, something like this, which are used in mechanical engineering, that you people have to know. So your subject knowledge, maybe if it is CSC, that you should know the knowledge of some languages, technical languages, C, C++, something like this. You should know something about programming, software, testing, designing, coding, decoding, something like this, so that you people have to work here. Then apart from that, your skills. So in skills, there are a lot of things are involved. Let's say soft skills also. In soft skills, you people have to know your leadership qualities, decision making, problem solving, your confidence, motivation, and such things will come here in soft skills. Technical skills, again, the similar, that what additional courses you people have done, technical courses, I will say here. Then your achievements, that co-curricular, extracurricular activities that you people have participated during your, let's say, academics. Then your desired behavior. So desired behavior means what? How you are, how is your temper, how you are maybe polite, how you are just maybe your attitude, and everything that what you people are doing throughout that interview. At all those things will be observed, and based on that, they will just take decision whether you're selected or whether you're rejected, and based on this, you people will have further proceedings. And again, try to understand that this is all things are going to happen very limited time. So let's say a maximum 30 minutes, I'll say from 15 to 30 minutes, that time range will be there for interview. Some interviews may be finished within 10 minutes as well, but we people just, you are it is based on you, what kind of answers you people give. Based on that, the interview just gets longer. So you have to be very careful, and while answering in the interview, people have to be careful that answers which you are giving, they should not create subset of questions. Suppose that usually if they ask you what are your hobbies, and then you are telling them that my hobbies are reading books. So maybe some questions are going to come on that hobby, like that. If you read books, so tell us about which books you have read, who is your favorite author. If you're telling the name something like that book, then something like this they are going to ask you. Okay, so you have to answer in such a way that they will ask you questions where you people can answer, or the answers that you are going to give, again they're going to create some questions which will be in your interest, area of your interest. And suppose that on the other hand, if it happened like that, you answer in such a way that the interviewer has taken control and he's taking you in their field. They wanted to ask you questions that you don't know. But on the other hand, you have to try to answer in such a way that you're taking them into the area where you know or the knowledge that you have. Based on that, they should ask the questions. So again, this is a skill that how you're going to answer each and every question. Based on that, the interviewer will decide that how much you are having knowledge. Okay. So I hope that so far you might be clear with what is interview and why is it conducted. So let me know. Reply me. Is it clear what is interview?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then here we people will discuss a little bit about types of interview. So first of all, it says panel interview. So have you heard about that UPSC interviews which are conducted for IS, IPS, IAS posts?
Yes, sir.
So that kind of interview are panel interviews. So in panel interview, what happens that there is a group of experts, let's say 3 or 4, sometimes 5 also, and there is one candidate. Okay, so this is panel. So on panel there are 3, 4 members, can be 5 members, and opposite to them there is one candidate who is sitting in front of them. Usually panel interview is held for higher posts and the posts which are having responsibility, much more responsibility. For such things there is panel interview. So as I told you, just if you're facing MPSC, UPSC interviews, there are panel interviews. And here it is not only one person. There are minimum three people are there and they are expert in that field. So for your answers you are giving, you have to be very careful and you have to be very prepared for such panel interview. So it is not that much means you should have a fear in your mind if you're going to face panel interview, but your preparation matters a lot here. So you have to each and everything about that post when you're going to apply for that post. So this is panel interview. 3 or more experts sit across the table from the candidate and candidate is asked. Each one of them may ask questions or they may ask, once he asks, once another asks, and you are going to, maybe they're trying to catch you. Simply, they're trying to see that how you'll be rejected. And on the other hand, here you're trying to see, you're just trying how am I going to get selected. So you people have to win here. Then after panel interview, there is face-to-face interviews. So face-to-face means the what? That only one-to-one interview. So here is one, let's say HR or let's say a recruiter or let's say interviewer is here. And on the other hand, you are alone here. That is one candidate is here. So he is going to ask you a question and you are going to answer it. So relatively or comparatively, it is less stressful, less bothered because there's only one person and he's going to ask you questions and you are going to answer it. Okay, so this is face-to-face interview. I hope that you will understand what is face-to-face interview. It is said that informal in nature. So informal in nature, comparatively informal. It is not totally informal, but as compared with panel interview, this face-to-face interview is less informal. Less distance between interviewer and candidate. Usually there is a table and across the table you will be there. But here you people are just having a distance and the people are just very formal atmosphere is here. This face-to-face interview again, less stressful and relaxed environment is here as compared to panel interview. Okay, so there are other types also. Let's say that there is group interviews as well. In case panel interview, what happens that one candidate and there are so many experts, but in group interview, what happens that there are one interviewer and here are number of candidates. 2 to 3 candidates are taken at the same time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So this is called group interview. So again, if there are number of posts, number of vacancies are available and number of candidates who are going to apply, they are more. Based on this, they decides what kind of interview you are going to be held, whether it will be face-to-face, whether it will be panel, whether it will be, let's say, group interview. So that is also, you people just try to understand. So I think that in previous class also I have asked to last 10 minutes so people have to do group discussion. So are you ready? I think that we have finalized topic also. Which topic we have decided? Or you don't remember anything? Last time we have conducted group discussion on online education and offline education, or advantages, disadvantages.
Mobile.
Mobile.
Okay, and have I told you to last 10 minutes we people will another discussion? If you're
No,
ready,
sir.
okay, fine. Then we'll continue with the interview. So, but I think that you should be discuss it. If it is not possible in the class, at least on your own level, you people try to discuss, because if you do practice daily, it will improve. So these are some of the types of interview. There are more types. These are not only two, but there are more. And you people just try to understand that based on the post and based on the organization, different types are adopted. Then let's try to understand that what you should do prior interview. Prior interview means before interview, which things people have to check. Then first of all, it says read your CV, application and skills demanded. So read your CV means what are the resume. Instead of CV, I will say resume. Okay. So resume is what? That's something that you people have mentioned in your academic skills. You're mentioning your experience. You're mentioning your some achievements. So that will be in resume. CV is a broader term. CV stands for curriculum vitae, and when you carry experience of, let's say, 10 years, 15 years, so that time it is your CV. Okay, so resume will be the proper word. So read your resume, or along with, if there is any covering letter or application letter. So another word is that covering letter. So covering letter is nothing but job application letter. So right now, if companies come here, they don't ask you to write down application letter. But see, if you're going to try off campus means you're going to apply on your own to any company. So that time, or maybe if there is, let's say, advertisement in newspaper, and based on that, if you're going to apply for the post, in that case, the people have to write down application letter, and then people are going to just mention for which post you're going to apply and what you have, what skills you know, and something like this. So your application letter, if you are written, that you people have to read carefully, and also skills demanded. Okay, so which skills you people are expected to have when you are just applying for a particular post. Okay, so they might, sometimes it is given, there is a JD. So what is JD? It is not JD, it is JD. It is called job description. Okay. Your work profile, job profile. Sometimes you may get words like this: job profile or work profile. So in job description, they will tell you what skills are required, what kind of candidate is required. That is given here in that job description. So you just try to know all those things, that for which post you are going to apply, what skills are required, what knowledge, what qualification, what things are required. Accordingly, people have mentioned everything in your resume, and accordingly, people have applied, or application letter is according. Then next, you just try to know the company. Okay, know the company means what? Suppose that if you're going to apply for any company, let's say any XYZ companies there, that you're going to apply for that company. So that is one question they may ask you, what do you know about our company? So if the question is asked and you don't know anything, simply you have to ensure that you're not going to get this job if you don't know anything. So you come to know about the job or about the interview of that particular company, and it may be just before 4 days. So minimum 3-4 days you people get for preparation. So within these 3 to 4 days, you people have to sharpen your skills, what posts and what skills are required, everything. And you people have to search the website of the company. So website of the company, that will provide you each and everything about the company. So the year of establishment, when that company started, who is the founder member, then where are its offices, branches, how many employees they're working in this organization. Then any new product which is launched by the company, any new service launched by the company, about their dividends, about their market values, about their so many things that you people will come to know if you visit the company, and you people have to do your own research. That is again popular term, do your own research. This is so you have to do your own research when you are going to face the interview. Before that, you have to do your own research about the company. Everything, maximum information that you can get, the people have to try to get from the website of the company. Then again, try to know their annual reports. Annual reports, it means that yearly they are going to produce some reports, and from that reports they will come to know that how much company is in profit, in loss, their turnover, annual turnover, how much turnover is there of that company. Such things that you people are going to understand from their annual reports. Then there is business news, business newspapers, magazines, etc. From that also people can get information of the company, any achievement of the company, any award which company got. So many things so people will try to understand from these things. And on the other hand, if you know someone who is working in the company, maybe it may be your friend, it may be your relative, some neighbors, or someone already who is working in the company. So that time you people can try to contact, try to take information about him, how many employees are there, what kind of work culture is there. So many things that you can understand from direct contact of the employees. So these are the some of the things that you people have to do when prior to interview. Before interview, you people can search these things. Okay, so I think that today we people have this much. We'll stop here. So let me know if you have any questions. Any difficulty? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So
No, sir.
okay. Okay, all right. So then let's check the absent numbers for today's class. Let me know roll number 3, 4, 8 absent. 13, 18, 19 absent. Then 29, 30 absent. 33, 34 absent. 44, 45 absent. 50, 51, 52, 53 absent. 60 absent. 61 absent. 64, 65 absent. 68 absent. 70 absent. 71 absent. Okay, so if it is clear to you, we people can stop here. We'll meet in next class, and next class we people will try to complete remaining part. And at the end of this unit, we people are going to have mock interviews also. So should we stop here? Should I end this meeting from my side?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.